Breakthroughs in treating AIDS have been attracting much attention at an international conference on the disease in Vienna. But activists have also been trying to highlight the need for universal access to treatment. Campaigners continue to protest, demanding more rights for those with HIV and AIDS. A complaint has been lodged against the US at the United Nations on behalf of 19 organizations. They claim President Obama's policies favor multinational pharmaceutical companies and make treatment more expensive, which Washington denies. Well, we can now cross live to London to speak to journalist Neville Hodgkinson, who specialises in reporting on AIDS. Mr. Hodgkinson, many thanks for joining us. Now, thousands of people have been protesting this week, not only in Vienna, calling for more funding in the fight against AIDS. Do you think that their calls are actually being heard?
I think that their calls are being listened to, but that actually the direction in which the science is going is misplaced, and that's why people are angry. For many years I've reported on this subject. I started writing about it 25 years ago and held the conventional view that AIDS was caused by a new virus when that theory was put forward in the 1980s. But over the years I've come to the conclusion that scientists who've been challenging that idea and who say that HIV has never been proven as a specific entity, and therefore the tests that claim to diagnose HIV infection are faulty. I think they've got a very strong point, and that's why, after all these years, we're still seeing such dissatisfaction with the efforts of the scientific community. Okay, it's not that they're not trying, but they're misdirecting their efforts.
Well, Mr. Hodgkinson, you say that the direction in which the study of AIDS is wrong, but much has been made at this particular conference this year about a gel for women that's claimed to help prevent AIDS, and it's being billed as a real breakthrough. Is it that?
No, I wouldn't see it that at all, and that's a very good case in point, in fact, of the tragedy of this mistaken approach. I saw a headline in the New York Times: African studies give women hope in HIV fight. But I looked up the detail of this study and found that it really does no such thing. What was found, there was a study of nearly 900 women in South Africa, during a period where they were followed for about 18 months on average, half of them receiving this supposed virucidal gel and half not. And they found that there were 98 of those 900 women became HIV infected, supposedly, and of those, 38 had been treated with this gel and 60 not, which is not a very big difference in itself. It's claimed as being a 40% reduction in HIV infection, but actually that's a very high rate of infection in 18 months. I would see that as a study that if one were to believe those figures, we would say that this was a great failure. In fact, because of the problems with the HIV test that these people are using, I think that the entire study is misrepresenting what's really going on.
But Mr. Hodgkinson, the fact stands that at this AIDS conference that we saw taking place over the weekend in Vienna, this particular vaginal gel was making all the headlines. Why are you saying that all these scientists who gathered there were wrong?
Well, I'm saying that it's a tragedy that the best that they can come up with after 25 years and something like $200 billion focused on this virus, research and treatment, that the best they can come up with is a study where they claim that they've made a reduction of 40% in HIV infections, and yet that study actually admits that out of these 900 women, 60 who weren't treated became infected, and 40 who were treated still became infected. This is no advance.
Okay, the scientific community will remain divided over this issue, I can see. I'm afraid we're out of time. Neville Hodgkinson, many thanks for joining us and speaking to us this afternoon from London.
Oh, you're welcome.